welcome to another free tutorial video brought to you by rcnightmare.com. Today we're going to take a look at how to add some additional cooling to your Traxxas Slash 4x4. However, this method is probably totally fine for any truck or car. You just need to change which model fan you decide to get. I've already installed the factory or the Traxxas ESC heatsink and cooling fan. Clipped down real nice and easy. I noticed a marginal increase in runtime, especially when it's definitely more prevalent when you're indoors. If you're outdoors and it's kind of cool outside, the air can help keep you a little bit cool. But I'll tell you what, my lap time at any indoor dirt track or carpet track or whatever is significantly cut down by the motor and ESC heating up. So how do you get better? Well, you buy a $10 to $15 fan. If you're a deal seeker, I know they can be had on eBay for maybe $7. People make their own. It's really not that complicated. You just got a molded heatsink, and then they just clip on a fan. Some people even upgrade this fan to a little bit nicer one, or a bigger one, or one that pushes more air. And that's something that we may actually do a video on a little bit later. But I want to see the difference with the stock Intigi fan. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Most people say anywhere between 15 and 30 degrees runtime, or 15 to 30 degrees cooling. And what that's going to do is it's going to stop, or it's going to increase your runtime by not having your ESC cut off your motor because it's overheating. And these are the kind of parts that I love to install because it's very simple. Hopefully you can see this. You'll want to put it with the fan facing forward and the heatsink line pressed up all the way against the back. Make sure you move these wires out of the way so you don't end up chopping them or something. Just lift them up. Push straight down. You want to make sure it's snug, right? Because that's how a heatsink works. It needs contact. It's not just going to pull the air away, pull the heat away without actually being in contact with the motor. So push it on, put it in a position that you're comfortable with. I see most people kind of put it off to the side. Well, heat rises, right? So I would rather kind of try to get it as close to straight up and down as I possibly could. And if you're like me and you're running the ESC cooling fan as well, you're going to need to get either a little Y adapter, which I think they're like $2 or $3. Traxxas makes them, and there's a whole lot of aftermarket ones. If you're handy with doing your own upgrades, you can work it right into the motor power. You can splice it in with the ESC. I've read people running it just fine that way. But that's really all there is to installing a motor heatsink and cooling fan. This is good for the Slash, Stampede, and Rustler. As you can see, I paid $13.99. But I usually end up, I'm not really a price seeker, so I know you can have this cheaper. So if you spend a little bit of time, you could probably save $5 on it. But what this is going to do is going to give you more lap time. If you're worried about, if you have a limited amount of time like I do you want to maximize your time at the track and minimize your time leaning your truck up against a fan and walking around drinking a soda, waiting for it to cool down. Throw this fan on your motor, put the ESC fan on, get yourself a few extra minutes of lap time, and extend the life of your parts. Just like a computer, proper cooling can extend the life of computer components significantly. It's the same way with your truck. If you're running it hot constantly in tough conditions, it's gonna shorten the life of your parts. You're talking about $30 between both parts to maintain a couple $100 worth of parts. So definitely worth it. Side note, some people actually put a little mesh around the top of the fans. And I'm probably going to do that too. Real thin mesh so that the air can still flow, but it protects any large debris from actually getting in the fan and ruining it. Fans are probably $2 to replace, but it's more of a nuisance than a cost thing. So think about that too. So this is there's been another free tutorial video brought to you by rcnightmare.com. Make sure and check out our website, read our daily blog posts, and hit our forum with any questions that you have. We man it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.